Welcome back to another episode of The Raw Truth. As always, I'm your host, BX Bad Boy, and today we're talking about good baby mamas versus bad baby mamas. Enjoy. So today we're going to be talking about good baby mamas versus bad baby mamas. I have a baby mama, so I can talk about good and bad. Like, I don't know, a bad baby mama is one who makes their child feel guilty to get what they want. Like, if you don't do what I say, I'm not going to love you anymore. Or telling them they're betraying them by not doing what they ask. Using their position to blackmail the child, essentially. Even if it's quote-unquote for a good cause, meaning getting the child to behave, that's bad baby mama. I'm sorry. I love my son to death. I'd rather threaten him with bodily harm than tell him I won't love him. He's betrayed me. He's a bad son. All because he won't obey my rules and regulations or listen to me and all. I'd rather threaten to harm him. There is an everlasting effect of abuse in the sense that he goes, oh shit, don't want that, fuck that, okay dad, whatever you say, just don't rearrange my body parts. Now, he knows they're idle threats. It's like things just got real, so he's like, all right, yeah, I don't want to find out how much of an idle threat that is. And he just basically does whatever I say, even if it takes 2 minutes, and then he's back disobeying me. He won't have the everlasting factor of like, is daddy really love me still? I've been bad. Does daddy love me? Now, my son, and I can only speak from his things he's told me. There's been a few times where he told me his mother told him if he didn't lie against me, that he doesn't love his mother. Now, I'm taking that from the word of a child. Let's just put it that way. But all he complains about is her making him feel guilty, essentially blackmailing him in other ways that are less harsh but still blackmail, to make the child do what she wants. So there's some validity to it, and the mere fact that she's blackmailing him makes it bad mama, even if it isn't to the extent the child proclaims. I just don't get it. Like I said, I'd rather my child be afraid that I'm going to put my foot so far up his ass he can taste the water in my knee, than for him to think that my feelings for him are questionable or conditional. I don't ever want to put him through that. That's why I've never called him some child. That's why I've never put him outside the shoes he's in. Now, a few of these things are questions I'm going to ask the audience and put up my point of view of it. And if you don't give me any feedback, then I'm just talking to myself. So please leave a comment letting me know what you think. I don't care how harsh it is. I don't care if you think something bad about me. I'll either defend myself, explain myself, or concede if you got a point. I'm not one of those people that go, oh, wait, I say I'm right, so what you say doesn't matter. That's not how I operate. If you can show me how I'm wrong, like in previous video, well, maybe I should have had all the condiments and that would never have happened, and it is nice to be prepared, though I don't need all those compliments. And losing my temper at something that's, dear to me, but I go a little too far because it is that dear, learn to dial it back. I was told that by multiple people, and I didn't go, oh, you're crazy. That was harsh. I have the right to say whatever I want. I do have that right, but I didn't say I was right to do so. There's an old saying, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Now, let's start with this. Your child tells you, shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Now, let me add the context. He watches his father and grandfather get into an argument, and they argue and bicker back and forth like two brothers, not father and son. That's just the relationship they have. So the father gets pissed off at something the grandfather says and tells him to shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Now the child hears this. Now the child goes home, gets into a fight with his mother because she's trying to get him to do something, and he gets pissed off. So he reacted the same way I did. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, but to make it easier than his father, grandfather. The same way I did. When he got angry, he told her, shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Now, I'm not justifying his actions or words or mine. But what follows next, by all means, please tell me if this is the right thing to do, and if this makes a bad mom or a good mom. So she flips out on him, destroys his whole room, and then tells him now he has to clean it up. Tells him she doesn't let a grown-ass man talk to her like that. She's not going to let some little boy do it. In those exact words. Now, pay particular attention to those words, because that's where the bad mom comes into place. My child loses his shit. He calls me up on the phone. He's crying hysterical. Like, I mean, psychotically crying. Like, I thought there was something really wrong. So I'm trying to calm him down and talking through it. Then, as he's starting to calm down, I can have a conversation and do the father bit. She flips out in the back. He don't need to calm down. He needs to fucking... And then click. Because he's screaming so loud it damn near shuts the phone off. So I didn't hear what she said. The phone gets hung up, and all I'm thinking is she's beating the shit out of him. Am I wrong? Does it sound like that might be the case? What I need to know is what she did, a bad mom move, or a good mom move, calling him some child and comparing him to some dude on the street. And the fact that she flipped out, making him rock back and forth, crying hysterically. You would have thought my child had mental issues if you would have seen him. And what I mean by mental issues, it used to be the clinical term of retarded. But, you know, politically correct doesn't like that. But it's a clinical term. He was rocking in the middle of the room, crying, like, almost like a rhythm crying. There was a pattern to it. And just doing this. And he wasn't acknowledging the room. He wasn't looking at the light. When I walked in the room, he wasn't looking at me. Nothing. He was just doing this and crying hysterically, but not loud and obnoxious. Just, you know, one of those and tears and moaning. Now, I'm going to say what I did next after I walked in the room, but tell me if there's something wrong here. And if I'm wrong, that she was justified, prove it. Because I'll call you some chick or dude and see how you like it and what you think I think of you. So I walk in the room. The first thing I do is smack him on the back of the head. And I said, how many times I got to tell you that's not how you talk to your mother? Whether or not she makes you mad or not, you never say that to your mother. Now, when I smacked him on the back of the head, whether you agree or disagree, by all means, tell me. I really don't think it's going to change much because I don't care. He snapped out of his little crying fit and rocking back and forth and began to apologize and hug me. And I was like, dude, there's not time for hugging. You don't ever do that. Do you understand me? I taught you better than this. He started sobbing a little bit. I'm sorry, Daddy, I know. And then I hugged him. I was like, dude, it's okay. You aren't a bad person. You make mistakes like everyone else. You know what you have to do right now, right? He kind of looked up at me. He's like, what? I said, you got to go apologize to your mother. Do you know he refused to go near his mother, not because of anything but fear? He's like, no, Daddy, no, Daddy. He grabbed onto my arm like this and left a handprint, refusing to go. I had to walk with him for him to go apologize to his mother. So, you tell me, bad mom or not? Let me phrase that. I want to be very specific. Bad mom move or not? And what do you believe would be the impact to that child? Now, I'm going to give you a little hint. This happened when my child was 5 or 6 years oldish. He's now 11. He still talks about it like it happened yesterday. Well, that's just, a little tidbit. 2. Now this is, we're not going back there, just stay back there. We're going down a pattern. You tell me our child needs Ritalin because he's misbehaving in school. No doctor said it. No staff said it. No teacher said it. Nobody mentioned it but you. Something wrong there? People just don't get it. My child's got issues. He needs medication and a program. Excuse me? He's 7, 6 years old? And the first thing out your mouth is medication and a program. Which, by the way, she denies ever having that conversation hysterically in front of the school, crying our ass off. That no one gets it, her son needs help. Now we'll go to step 3. She's taken me to court numerous times, made numerous accusations about how I've harmed my child, involved Child Protective Services, and denied my child to speak to me and or see me. When the child says the opposite, meaning he didn't want to be away from me, he's not afraid of me, he doesn't think I'm going to hurt him, he wants to see his daddy, and she tells him no. Good mom or bad mom move? Now, his whole entire life, her answer to his crying and whining and bitching and moaning is give him whatever he wants. It will shut him up. She's constantly doing it, and she still believes does it as well. Good mom move or bad mom move? You be the judge. We'll go on to the next step. She treats me like shit in front of him. Talks bad about me behind my back. And I know for a fact she does it. It's not just listening to the child's ears. It's stuff I didn't tell him. So the only way he could have heard those statements, those things, are as if he heard it from his mother and her husband. We're not going to go there. He's a wife's husband, and I got to give him slack on that because he's happy wife, happy life. So, yeah, bad mom move. You be the judge. Now, let's continue. There's some stuff I'm skipping over because it's just repetitive crap. She tells me that she knew and knows, along with her mother, had a conversation. They knew I would never do anything to endanger this child. Then turns around and takes me back to court months later, claiming I'm abusing him. Contradictory, telling the child he's not allowed to talk to me, and again, keeps him away from me. Bad mom move or what? Then she calls me up. I'm on the phone on the way to go get him. This silly heifer asks me, do I have a plastic bag? I'm like, okay. I'm already on my way. I look around my car. I was like, yeah, there's one right there. So when I get there, I grab the plastic bag and I walk it over to her. She goes, the dog pooped over there. Are you fucking kidding me? She didn't reach for the bag as I was reaching out to give it to her. She expected me to clean up her dog's shit. I'm still cleaning up her shit that she's thrown in this family. I don't got time to clean up your dog's shit. And last time I checked, I ain't your husband. Last time I checked, I ain't even your man. Last time I checked, we ain't been in a relationship in 12 fucking years. Last time I checked, we ain't even done the nasty in at least 10. So, yeah. You can take that bag and you can go pick up your own shit. I have to give her to her, though. She thinks she's doing the right thing. And everybody can tell me this horse pucky is her first child. It's my first child, too. Well, besides her. She's better off. Might as well consider her my child. He's also my first child. But I haven't made 1/10 the mistakes she has with our child. You ask my son, and one of these days, when he's older anyway, because I was told it's not for children. Sorry. She knows who it is who told me it's not for child, and I don't mean to mock her, but to make it fun. Anyway, you can ask my child. He will tell you two things. One, he deserves and needs a beating, but does not want one. So, I don't abuse my child. I punish him, and yes, sometimes physical punishment is a requisite of a situation. But he'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with me doing it. He needs it, and in some cases deserves it. He just doesn't like getting hit. Go figure. Who does? That's the whole point of punishment. You're not supposed to like it. But I made him a promise that the physical discipline would stop. So it has. Have I stopped beating him up? Of course not. We're boys. It's every weekend. It's ass-kicking central. You ask him where does he rather be, he says here. You'll see him only stay at his mother's house if he has a choice, because she bought him an Xbox. Well, her mother did. Now, out of all the systems in the known universe that she could have bought, she picked the Xbox. Now, she knows all he plays in my house is PlayStation. So that's all his games. He doesn't own an Xbox, so he doesn't play Xbox games. So why did you let your mother, because I know she asked her, why did you tell your mother get him an Xbox? Why? Oh, so he would have another reason to go over there. Same reason why she bought him a dog. At one point, he refused to go back to his mother's house. Then all of a sudden, She just felt the need to buy a dog she claimed even after buying it, she couldn't afford. I wonder. So you tell me, are these all bad mom moves? And I never told her she was a bad mother because we all make mistakes, some consistently. And I tell her she makes mistakes because I don't want her thinking that she's a bad mother. Maybe she'll stop trying, or maybe she'll give up altogether. Just like I don't tell my child to disrespect his mother and not listen to her. I tell him, don't listen to her when it comes to me. Ask me, and I'll show and prove. But I wonder, with all the things I just listed, am I wrong here? By all means, please leave a comment letting me know if I'm wrong, what I'm wrong about, and just do me one favor. I don't need excuses to explain her actions. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for whether or not you believe her actions solely without trying to justify them. Because if you got to justify something, it's automatically wrong. Automatically. Because you now have to explain yourself. So you obviously did something wrong. The severity of the wrong is another canary. But if you have to prove you're justified, there's a good chance that this much that you're not justified because you did something wrong. So I'm not looking for justification. I'm not even looking for explanation because I know why she did the things she did, and I know why she could have done the things she did. Oh, I know all of those things. But I just need someone to tell me whether or not these are all bad mom moves, few of them. And if you say they're not bad mom moves, then I'll be more than willing to dialogue back and forth on why you say it's not. I'm just worried about the sanity of my child, and she won't listen to me. Nobody does. Is it because I'm too cute? Because I'll explain it to you this way. My father has a bad relationship with my child, and I try to explain to him why he has a bad relationship, just like I do with his mother, trying to help her repair the relationship. Because I'll tell you this much. I've never tried to take my son away from her. I never try to keep him away from her, because according to the law, I don't have to give him back. She has to take me to court, and a judge makes that decision. But at any given moment, I can keep him in this house and never return him until a judge passes a court order. I never tried to. Because it's not about taking him away from his mother or his mother away from him. He needs to get to know her, either to come up with his own decision what kind of woman, mother, or person she is, or for me to be wrong and she turned out to be the greatest mother in the world. I say fat chance, but a lot of things have changed over the last 12 years. We went to court once, and the judge says, one of these days you guys will ever sit down and have a coffee together and work this out. I told him in the courtroom, I don't know what's in your coffee, but that's not happening. It isn't. We have not sat down once for a meal, a coffee. We can barely sit down to hold a conversation, and when we talk on the phone, for the most part these days, I just listen and yeah her to death. Because trying to actually hold a conversation where my point of view or the truth is on the table, it's pointless. Because she's God's gift to parenting. For a person who's never parented in her life, she sure as hell acts like she's a number one parent. But I decided to let all that stuff go because it doesn't make any sense. It just causes me headaches and me stress. So I just yell her to death. Because at the end of the day, what I do in my house is what I do in my house. And I'm not going to do what she thinks I should, especially if it hurts, endangers, or doesn't work. I'm going to do what works. My child lines up, he gets in line, and when he misbehaves, he gets scolded, and he calls me sir. He knows exactly what's coming. He knows exactly why. There is no he knows what's coming. That's why sometimes he doesn't want to come here if he did something wrong at his mother's house, because he knows in my house he gets punished for doing something wrong in his mother's house, especially when it comes to disrespecting his mother. I don't disrespect his mother in front of him, and I've got more reasons to go after this woman verbally and otherwise than he ever will. So if I can respect her enough to be civil, he better. That's just me. Does she say the same thing about him to me? Of course not. Does she tell him to behave before he comes to me? No. Does she hock him up on sugar half the time? Yes. And I mean that literally. Gives him sugar and then hands him to me. Every time she picks him up and he gets in her car, I tell him behave for his mother and his stepfather, or I'm going to fuck him up. Plain and simple. That's not what she does. She just drops him up. He awake? Yeah, okay. See you later, Bubba. Really? But I digress. Ish. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the comments I get from this. And by all means, tell me what you think of my thumbnail. It's my handiwork. Please subscribe. The more subscribers I have, the better I have to make this into a better channel. Right now, I'm dancing on fumes, I guess as they call it. We can't grow without your help. Please subscribe and like, comment, so we can get this dialogue going. Some comment, some don't. I need your help to make this channel into something, not just me yelling at myself or me bitching and moaning to a camera. I thank you for your time. Keep safe, wear a mask, don't listen when they tell you not to, because it will stop you from infecting me, just like my mask stops me from infecting you. So if either one of us have it, we will not pass it to the other. On that note,